there, YouTube world. This place looks vaguely familiar. Here, let me pan around a little bit. Recognize this from the other day? That is right, I am back to Bahia, Honda. You know, I've established that the Curry Hammock Campground is really... It's not bad, okay, don't get me wrong. I just don't ever want to come back there. It's just boring. I mean, like, how do you theoretically compare a boring beach to, let's say, this? I mean, look at it. There's just absolutely no comparison. None whatsoever. The fact that, you know, for one, there's a very large shoreline, ample amount of parking space, a lot closer to Key West, not to mention absolutely killer sunsets with the girls in bikinis over there, and the bridge, of course, and all sorts of other cool things. So, and it just feels like this place is more alive, if that makes any sense. Curry Hammock, where I stayed yesterday, just kind of like it's kind of like a dead zone. I don't know what to make of it. It is it's almost as if everybody's asleep over there. It's like you could literally hear yourself think. That's how quiet it is in Curry. And unfortunately for me, I got 2 more nights in there. So tomorrow, driving back, naturally it is impossible to find and reserve campgrounds, despite the fact that you show up there and there's nobody at the freaking campground. Like yesterday, I woke up and like a third of the campground was empty. So what people do is they reserve the campgrounds, and you know, for them it's a lot easier to lose $30 than lose $150, which is exactly what they do. They just reserve everything all over the place, and if they don't come, they don't come. That's kind of a... I fundamentally disagree with that. It makes it for people like myself virtually impossible to find a camping spot. And yeah. Here's a interesting thing. Have a look behind me over there. That Class B 4x4. Now, I'm not a particular fan of Class Bs to begin with, but I am a particular fan of 4x4s. And the reason why is because the trip which I had to skip out on to go on this trip was going to take me to the North and South Carolinas. And there's this absolutely epic road called Old Highway 105 over by Linville Gorge. And anybody who is even remotely familiar with the area knows that you need a high clearance vehicle, and my Class C RV not so much. So I've been kind of drooling over 4x4 RVs ever since. I don't know, maybe if I ever trade mine, I'm gonna have to do it for something like of a 4x4 variety. I don't know what or how. I know there's a company in South Carolina that actually converts Class C RVs into 4x4s. So, but the price tag on it, I don't know about that. It's probably easier to buy yourself a used 4x4 Class C or something. I don't know. A lot of people also get the Jeeps. You know, it seems like a lot of people in the Keys are making a whole bunch of excuses. This building up here is a nature center at Bahia, Honda. And yet again, I hear the story about how it was all better before the hurricane and how it was all this and that before the hurricane. And I don't know what to believe anymore, because it seems like if everywhere else people have recovered from the hurricane, how come not here? Especially if it's on a government dollar. So nevertheless, my goal today is to explore an area which was previously closed after the hurricane. I've only been there maybe once in the past 20 odd years, and that is on the bottom of the bridge, and I may actually come back there during the evening time. Howdy there, folks. Greetings from this place called Bahia. Parked quite unceremoniously to the only available spot, which is right behind me. Those are the restrooms. They still have not, you know what, I think, and I don't want to be misquoted on the matter, but it almost makes me feel that none of the state parks want to spend money on fixing infrastructure, let's put it that way. So I don't know if this is intentional or whether they just don't have the budget or something like this, but I am not okay with that. So I'm going to observe a sunset, and I wanted to show you something. The last time I was, I believe, either at this camp spot or the one next to it, and if you listen to the microphone, you could hear the noise. Oh, yeah, that's where we were. There's a highway that you could hear all through the night. So my advice to you, unless you have absolutely no other choice, don't get a campsite next to the highway. So just to kind of show you, if you're lucky enough, you could actually get yourself a spot with the water. There's a whole bunch of campsites here with access to the water, so especially if you have a kayak. And also you should be able to see the sunset, especially if you're at the right angle to everything else. So my goal today is to actually make it to the bridge. You know, mind you that I've already explored this campground to and from substantially for several times that I've been here. But oh, I don't know if, can I show you the water side? Let's see. You could actually walk under the bridge over there. There's some cottages over there as well as tent camping. And another thing about the water sites is that they're wide with a capital W. Oh my goodness. I mean, look at it. This guy could park his Jeep, plus his Class A, plus he still has place. How you doing? They're so wide that you could actually park diagonally. Talking to myself. But yeah, all in all, this place is really interesting. If you've never been here, especially its proximity to Key West, which makes it ever so wonderful. Staying in Key West is rather expensive, but this is kind of like almost there but not quite kind of deal. One of the coolest things about especially this cul-de-sac is that you get to watch sunset for as many nights as you're here, especially to the backdrop of all the boats and everything. That in the background is the bridge which used to run all the way to Key West, delivering tobacco and other things like that. So the goal today though is to walk around and actually get to the top of the bridge that way. So let's get there before the sun sets. Well, folks, you just missed the sunset. I've gotten some really cool shots. Gonna include them in the video. I've also been privileged enough to actually fly my drone out here. Normally they have all sorts of anti-drone things plastered, but you know what? I'm at the point in my life where I just frankly don't give anymore. This is a really beautiful spot, and you know, there's people that actually meet the sunset up on the bridge. In my personal opinion, the best seat in the house is actually right where I am, because you get the palm tree, which is that one, and you get the bridge obviously, and you get the boats and everything. So if you notice, it is noisy out here, which is why this campground is kind of like a catch-22. We're not that far from Key West. We're way down the keychain. Beach-wise, definitely not the best. Sunsets, okay, I'll give it that much. I'd rate the sunset here at 10. And I don't think I've had a bad sunset here for as many times as I've come to this park. But the fact that there's constantly, like there's this road up here is the way in and out for a lot of people. So is this parking lot, so is the highway behind me. There's, like I said, when you compare it against Curry Hammock, which we're going to be going to a couple days from now, and then especially the Lone Key State Park. You know, surprisingly though, when I was in talking to myself.
Do you have a drone?
Yes I do.
Okay, we saw it earlier going over.
There was somebody else here flying it too.
Okay. Have fun.
Have a good night. And so, see, sometimes you have positive interaction with people. You just have to. But yes, this is the newly renovated beach. If you come here in the morning and sit on one of those tables out here, you could actually see the sunrise. So that's, I'll give it that much too, because you get both the sunrise and the sunset. But unfortunately, other than that, and you know, the reason why I kind of critique the beach a little bit is because, let me see if the camera will pick this up. Okay, so see how high we are from the water's edge? Okay, all of this that I'm standing on have actually been put here after the hurricane. All of this beach all the way down the coast over there was actually flat, and you used to be able, we actually, if you look at one of my videos from years and years ago, we used to snorkel here with like a little snuba setup. There used to be a pavilion way down there, and way down there, and you could just walk up. But see what they did up here? I don't know. Like I said, it's a catch-22. It is kind of cute to see what have survived. Previously, all of this was nothing but green. Luscious vegetation. This was like impenetrable forest. And just to get you an idea, all of this gone with a hurricane. Such a bad thing to happen. In a matter of speaking though, they have made it look a lot better than it used to be. I'll give them substantial credit for that, because if you notice all around me, this kind of has like a sort of like a resort out in the Caribbean vibe. Clearly to the backdrop of the bathrooms, maybe not so much, but whoops, still it allows you to enjoy. And somehow, they said that this beach is open, but somehow you either need to climb down the rocks, which are razor sharp, way down there, or you need to walk all the way around. And yep, this place definitely lost a lot. You know, first time I came out here, years and years and years ago, this looked completely different. Interesting. So see what this is? Whoops, sorry for the camera shake. By the way, obviously by the shaky camera, right now I'm using DSLR, but I decided to ditch my gimbal for the DSLR because it's just way too impractical. It's very, very heavy. Look at this guy. Show off. Oh, there's a buddy. Coordinator on time, of course. But yes, despite having a beach, you can't really call it a beach because, I mean, look at this. Now, mind you that I am not a beach person, but if I was to bring my family out here, their first reaction would be meh. Nonetheless, if you could find your way down somehow, which I have no idea how you could even do that, and actually get in the water isn't too bad. It's really shallow. Once you get to the grass, it's probably knee high, and then it stays knee high probably for another couple hundred feet in there. At some point maybe you'll get like a waist deep, but yeah, it is really shallow in this part. At the very least they reopened it, so I'll give them that much. Look at them over there, wading through the water. Every now and then you're gonna see them kind of get up, stretch out their wings, fly like 2 feet. Probably looking for little fish.